up, guys? Welcome to my American Horror Story Season 6 after show. Today we are discussing episode 2. Let's talk about Lady Gaga's triumphant return, because she went from playing the Countess last season, which won her a Golden Globe Award, to Kathy Bates' character's sidekick who doesn't say a word. So far all she's done is just kind of like squirrel around beside her and make faces at people. Come on! Last year I had to admit that I was not really on board with Lady Gaga joining the show, but in my opinion she really proved herself. Hell, the woman won a Golden Globe Award on her first acting gig on television. This is not the way to repay the poor woman. But on a random note, did anyone catch her video for Perfect Illusion? Because that shit is amazing. But back to the show, let's talk about the plot a little bit. In classic American Horror Story fashion, we learn that there is a history in that house. But surprisingly, we hadn't learned about any of it until this episode. The stuff that we had been seeing with the pigs and the sacrifices and whatever the hell's going on over there in the bushes had nothing to do with the history that we learned. Apparently there was two giggling nurses that loved to kill people for God knows what reason. They had bought this house sometime before the 90s, I don't know when. They had turned the house into a nursing home where they would only accept candidates with certain letters of their first name. They wanted to kill people that started with the letters M-U-R-D-E-R, and they only got to the E, so they committed murder. And then something unknown happened to them. I'm pretty sure whatever happened to them had to do with the weird pigs in the woods thing. We learned this history through a video that was found in some random shed outside. We learned this history through who I believe is Dennis O'Hare, his character. Was that Dennis? Apparently his character lived in that house in the 90s, and all that stuff was going down back then. He did his research, found out about the nurses, and made a video blog about it. Earlier in the episode, Matt went downstairs and had some weird vision, maybe a dream, nightmare, whatever, and discovered the two nurses killing a patient, starting with the letter M. M for Margaret, which is actually my grandmother's name, and she was actually watching the episode with me. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place with this episode. Earlier than that, Lee brought her daughter Flor to the house, God knows why, but in classic horror movie fashion, the little girl Flor makes friends with another little girl that no one can see. She tells her mama that someone is going to kill everyone in that house and they're going to save herself for last. Flor's daddy got her out of the house so fast, swearing that Lee will never see her daughter again, which drove her to drink, and boy did she get drunk. But the thing she done seen when she was drunk was insane. The two nurses were on her bedside, there were like little piggy tails swinging on the walls, pig people showing up in the mirrors. My favorite bit was when she was on the ground and broke a plate, and Shelby notices that there were like 6 or 7 knives on the ceiling, and she's like, what the hell, Lee? And Lee's just there like, I didn't do that, probably didn't do that. Once she sobered up, she thought it would be a good idea to bring Flor back to the house, you know, kidnap her from her father, which was super smart, Lee, because now your daughter is missing. Shelby, Matt, and Lee looked everywhere in the house for her and everywhere outside of the house, and the only thing that was left of hers was a sweater that somehow made its way all the way to the top of the tree without Flor. I don't know if that was supposed to be scary, but I found it actually pretty hilarious. There were a lot of laughable moments that shouldn't have been laughable in this episode, but I actually really enjoyed it regardless. But now that we've learned a little bit of the history of the house, I'd like to learn a little bit more about these creepy people in the woods. The only thing I've fathomed so far is that they are like some weird cult who sacrifice people. I think they stick the heads of pigs onto the people and then decide to roast them as a sacrifice. I'm not totally sure. It still got me a little bit confused. Something I've definitely noticed this season is that Evan Peters is nowhere to be found. He is in the credits, but he's not in the show yet. There's only so many episodes. They can't like deprive us of Evan Peters. We need to see his ass at least once this season. We did see Cuba's though. Anyway, I give this episode 4 torches out of 4. I'm still rolling with this season. It is very different from what I'm used to, and I'm still not okay with the whole interview thing. I miss having like our classic American Horror Story intros, but I'm down for the changes. Let me know what you guys think of the episode. You can subscribe to me again if you want to. You don't have to. You can comment below. You can say hello on my Tumblr. You can like the video. You can just do whatever. Either way, I will be here next week to review episode 3. Catch you guys next time.